Good morning. This is Carla Harris with the People Institute, and we are live with Straight Talk Conversations with Carla. And I am super excited about this new part of what we're doing at the People Institute and how we're able to just have these conversations. This came to me probably a couple months ago, and I decided that I wanted to just talk about what it means to work with folks and how teams are getting along and just have an open dialogue about what it means to run a team and that sort of thing. So fast forward to COVID-19, I thought this is the great time to talk about how we're feeling. We're 4 weeks in, and our first topic of this Conversations with Carla is called The Human Side of This. So how are we really being affected by what's going on? I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a single parent, and so I have to homeschool my child and run my business, process what all of that means as it relates to business moving in a different direction, and really just understanding the human part of the vulnerability that sometimes this can have on us. So since this is our first time, we are live on Facebook, and we wanted to let you know that if there are any technical difficulties, to be kind to us. We also want you to join the conversation, so please feel free to have some log in with your questions, and let's just talk. So today I have my first guest, Marti Soroka. She is an entrepreneur. She is a single parent as well. And today we're just going to talk about what it means to go through a period of time like this as an entrepreneur, a business owner, a primary breadwinner, with children that we also have to homeschool and businesses that we have to keep up. So I'm going to bring Marti. Hey,
Good
Marti.
morning. Good morning. How are you today, Carla?
I'm doing great. Thank you for joining us for the first time with Conversations with Carla. So we are both entrepreneurs. We're both single moms, and my daughter's 14. And, she's pretty self-sufficient in this whole homeschooling thing, but it's been really challenging. It's been really challenging. So let's just start out by asking you, how are you doing? How are you doing in all of this? What's happening in your life?
Oh, thank you. First of all, thank you for having me on your show this morning. This is a great opportunity because I do agree with what you said earlier. This has touched upon many of our lives in so many different ways. For myself, it's been challenging. You try to remove the fear, remove the stress, because as we know, as parents or in this case, single parents, you want to show your children that everything is still going to be okay. Even though right now so many people are struggling financially, emotionally, it's hard. Thankfully, like yourself, I have two daughters. My oldest is 14 and a half. My youngest will be 12 next month. And thankfully, they are very technically inclined. So I think for my purposes, having the challenge of having to stand over their backs, making sure they're doing their schoolwork, is not there. I don't have to worry about that. I can trust them, and they've been amazingly responsible with their schoolwork. But like anything, now we're shifting into a different era where now our children are on technology that much more. And as you and I know, after being on the computer all day long, your eyes kind of get fried, your brain gets fried. So now we have to shift the focus on, all right, you've been on the computer for so many hours, you need to take a break. So that has been a little bit of a challenge given the new, normal, I guess you can say, that we're all living.
Mm-hmm.
Then the challenge on business has been, as we know, many companies have kind of halted. They've literally just come to a complete stop. And so I've been trying to focus on educating people as to how to leverage this time while we're stuck at home, while we have technology at our fingertips to learn, because this is a great opportunity for us to still learn about ourselves, to take advantage of these free resources that are out there, whether it's for your personal knowledge or for your business. At some point, this is going to come to an end. So this is a great opportunity to learn, not only for yourself, but also for your kids. We have so many companies out there that are offering free classes, free, whether it's free Zoom. We have to take advantage of it. And I think the biggest challenge for any of us parents is to not let the stress get to us, because our kids do look to us as a role model. We are, quote unquote, leading a team within our own home. So we have to be as effective, as positive as we can, even though we might know in the back of our brains, oh my God, how am I going to pay my bills? So we got to just be as positive and optimistic and utilize this time like you and I have in connecting with others, so others know that they're not alone in this very unique situation that we're all facing.
Yeah, it's we're 4 weeks in, and I think personally, I'm beginning to sort of settle into some kind of routine. I do have, if I'm honest, I do have some cabin fever.
Yeah.
But I think, every couple of days I need to get in my car and just at least drive around. I don't necessarily need to get out of the car, but just to drive around and sort of be out of my neighborhood. And I would say probably within the first week, it was devastating. I mean, I felt like, what am I going to do? And I posted a video on Facebook, and I was even unsure, because as a business person, do I want people to know the level of vulnerability? Do I want people to think, oh my gosh, is her business okay? What's happening?
Right.
And I had to, I took the chance and I said, I have to do this because I know I'm not the only one feeling this way. And I got great response. I mean, and not, I was still strategic. Like, I didn't post it on LinkedIn, of course, but,
I know.
I was still strategic in it, but still just I guess I needed to let myself know, or give myself permission to say, it's okay. We're human. We're allowed to feel what something like this does to not just me, but the country. The whole country is just reeling from this. And I do have friends who are still working. They're working full time. And I think, my comment to them, at various times is, be grateful, because for us, our trainings have all stopped, and we've had to really pivot and shift on what kind of training we're doing. So I think, my question to you is, what kinds of emotions have you gone through, during this time of this challenging time? I've gone through some fear, some trepidation, some apprehension. And I personally, I try not to let it overshadow my faith, but
Right.
about what you've been feeling during this time.
Well, I would definitely say when this all really first started, that week of St. Patrick's Day, because that's really when everybody's like, that first week of isolation, stressful. Stressful. You're questioning what's going to happen, because the information on the news is not consistent. And as we both are, we have children to take care of, and I also have 2 dogs and 2 cats I also have to take care of. So I've, at the end of the day, 6 children to feed, make sure that they're taken care of as best as they can, given the current situation. But it's been very stressful. And for me, on another personal note, I'm also I have Crohn's disease. And so stress is a major trigger for me when it comes to my internal system having what they call a flare. And I've been trying to not get stressed out by continuing to network and do as much as I can to stay busy, whether it's learning, whether it's networking, to mitigate that stress. I've probably had 1 or 2 days where I did a 30-second or a minute, little bout out of tears and just like, oh my God, what's going on? And then I just stop and I say, well, you know what? Don't put off tomorrow what you can do today, and let's just keep rocking and rolling.
Right.
And from spiritual perspective, I know for many it was Easter yesterday, and for others it was Passover last week. For myself, and I had over the last few weeks I've been getting back into my spiritual connection, and for my purposes, as Passover was approaching, it was the wording was to, you got to get rid of the past, forget about the past, don't worry about don't be negative. Especially as many of us celebrate Passover, it's about freedom. And so I've been trying to leverage that thought process in everything that I'm doing, and try not to get too stressed out. You're going to get your emails from your bill collectors, even though some are waving them off, and just call them. I mean, it's very, very stressful. And like I said, I've had moments where you just start questioning, how are we going to do this? Because business, for our purposes, is at a halt, while others are very fortunate to have that full-time, work that's at their fingertips. But it's, you have to find some outlets to remove the emotional pain of all of this, whether it's walking, whether it's drawing, whether it's, getting on the bikes with your children, going for a walk with your dogs, finding a moment to meditate and just think we're all going to get through this, because thankfully, as you mentioned we're not alone. And I think it is an opportunity for everybody to realize that we are all facing some aspect of struggle with the current situation. So, as best as you can, and if you need help, reach out to a spiritual counselor or a therapist to talk to somebody. There's nothing wrong in talking to people and opening up. And this is an opportunity for us to let our guards down and open up to our feelings, so you can get some feedback to help you mitigate, in the coming weeks.
So it's funny, I found on Facebook, in one of the Facebook groups I'm a part of, it talks about the trauma of going through something like this. And I won't read all of it, but some of it says parts of our brains have shut down in order for us to survive. As a result, we're not able to fully process a lot of what is going on around us. We feel numb, out of touch with our emotions. Some people are very anxious, which is what you just spoke about. And I think, the reason for me, the human side of this, when we started figuring out what the name would be, is because we are human, and as parents, especially as moms, as single moms. I mean, we have this whole banner that says we're super mom or superwoman.
Yeah.
And honestly, I have no interest in being super anything. I just want to have a healthy child grow into a healthy adult. I want to have a business that supports us as it has for the past 20 years, and just really be able to say, just kind of woosah for a minute. So I don't want to, I really want us to not, I really want us to talk about, sort of pivot a little bit to some positives. So if you could give us 3 top steps or 3 motivating factors or positive outcomes that you've tried that have been helpful for you during this time, what would they be?
One would be to tap into whether it is your local chambers or identify networking groups out there. I don't, for most of us who live on the computer, we know what's going on out there. For others who might not be, look up networking groups. It's a great way to connect. You can't physically go out the door and congregate in a group of people. So take advantage of these online networking events. because you will find other people again that are going through the same thing that you are. So that is a good boost to your, I think, to your mental well-being, is to connect with people, gives you the opportunity to speak, meet new people. The second thing, I think, for those whom, like us, whom have been in our own businesses, it's an opportunity to learn. Now we have time on our hands, so take advantage of those free courses that are out there. Continuing to learn about how to leverage social media now for your businesses, which is huge. I know you and I talked about this before, but social media is going to be the main channel for brand awareness, identify new clients, and or take your products and services to a completely different level than it was prior to the beginning of March. So when you're pivoting your business, start looking at how you can leverage social media and connect with other people. Join these networking groups to ask, meaningful and relative questions. How are you guys doing this? How are you bringing your business to the marketplace now that we can't physically be out there networking?
Right, right.
And I think also the other thing I would suggest is, this is an opportunity for those whom are not have a full-time job, that are, not having to, work for just one employer. This is an opportunity for many of us to maybe do some self-identification, identify what is your passion, what is your why. You're here in life for a purpose. And for many people, we've just been doing the grind every day. But now we have an opportunity in this time of quote unquote silence, so to speak. Take advantage of it. Identify your why. There's a lot of great coaches out there that'll help you identify kind of what's your inner purpose, what's your passion about. And yes, it is financially tough for a lot of people, but there are a lot of free resources. And if there's something that you haven't done yet and you've been saying, oh, I wanted to do this, but I couldn't because I was working a full-time job or I was running my own business, this is an opportunity to start identifying your passion and start building up that pipeline of networking / connections. And start just really identifying who you are, what you're here for, why you're here, and start preparing for when we do get out of this. You have great opportunity to come out with maybe a new product, a new service. And also it's an opportunity to inspire your children, as we are as single parents and also business professionals / entrepreneurs. It's a great time to get the kids involved. Hey, you got time in your hands. You can't go to soccer practice. You can't go here. You can't go there. Let's all be creative and let us show our true selves. And like I said, it's a great opportunity to figure out who you are and why you're here on this earth and how we can make a difference moving forward.
Absolutely. So we have David on the call, and he says that join online networking groups because they're free for now, which is great. And I think that, he has a great point. Every Thursday, as you know, I host the Coffee Connection, which is a virtual cafe. And we have been doing this now for probably about the 4 weeks that we've been apart, in this sort of new normal. And that's how I met you. And, we've gotten some really great information from people sharing with each other. There are many, many online networking groups. And I think that, we have to take advantage of what they are, what's happening right now. So if there's anyone out there with any questions for Marti or for me, we would be really happy to take your questions right now. Also, you talked about your why, and that is so critical because, the People Institute is a training organization. There are a million training organizations. So I understand that. What's important for me is to help people work better together, right? That is my why. And I do it because it is a throwback to, the way my parents raised us, to be kind to one another. And I've been able to take that and really infuse it into the training programs that we offer. understanding your why in 2020 is critical. It's critical because, first of all, competition is stiff.
Mm-hmm.
And, people really do business with people that they like, with people that they really are engaged with, and that there's a level of relatability. So I think you are so on point when you talk about using this time to find out about your why. Hey, Glenn. Glenn's on. David's on from Land Infotech. So we want to just give a shout out to both of them. And we have a couple people, other folks that are watching. But at this point, I think we're going to come to a close. Marti, thank you so much for being a part of this.
No,
Our
thank you for
first
having me.
conversation with Carla. Sometimes you get these, what do you call them? These, where God is talking to you and saying, you know what, you need to do this, and you just put it off, put it off, put it off. And then the world just sort of opens up an opportunity for this to happen. And I think this is that opportunity.
I would,
Any
I,
final thoughts?
yeah, I wanted to add one thing just to tackle on or to tap onto what you just said as well in terms of, finding your why. This is a great time. And, through your coffee connections on Thursday morning, I myself have found some folks whom we're going to be connecting with this week, or that I will be connecting with this week. And for those whom are struggling from a business standpoint, because whether, whatever product or service that we were providing before this began is now at a halt, but it's also an opportunity that you might find some new opportunities that you didn't think would be there. So it might pay, it might not, but at the end of the day, we all need to be helping each other. And as you said, people do business with those whom they know, like, and trust. And this is a great opportunity to build those relationships, build that rapport, build that trust factor, and have those conversations, because at the end of the day, you might now be securing a future a job opportunity, whether it's a contract, whether it's something maybe you're going to go back into the corporate world. So this is an opportunity to really make some meaningful connections that you wouldn't have done before this. So, it's hard enough to manage all the physical in-person networking events and driving there. But now you really have an opportunity. And I do want to say, Carla, to your coffee connections on Thursday morning, you have a great group of true, caring, and meaningful persons and professionals that are on those calls. And it's very inspiring to be with a group like that, where it's not just, everybody's there to hang out, but we are all there to help each other. And at the end of the day, we all want to get through this healthy. We want to still be able to have our heads on our shoulders and you gotta find something to smile about. And through these connections, it does give you something to hope for and to look forward to.
Thank you so much. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Marti. I'd like to, we have our website up there. If you would like to join our next Coffee Connection, if you go to the website to our events page, it will, you can register right there, the Zoom link. We meet every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. from 9 to 10. In fact, this week's speaker is Yvonne Rivers from Phoebe Marketing Group. She will be talking about how to pivot your business in a time like this, how to really assess your SWOT analysis. And is COVID-19 a threat, or really is it an opportunity to pivot your business? So join us on Thursday. If you go again to our website, isyourimagworking.com, and visit our upcoming events page, you can register right there. And then next week on Conversations with Carla, we will be talking with Adenike Harris. She's the CEO of Restorative Notions. She's based in Los Angeles, California, so she'll be here really early with us. And she and I will be chatting about steps to take to keep your mind calm and how to best handle stress that a time like this can wreak some havoc on us. So Marti, thank you again.
Thank you, Carla.
Thank you for those of you who joined us. We will be back here Monday at, we will be back here Monday morning at 10 a.m. on Straight Talk, Conversations with Carla. Have a great day.
Have a great day, everyone. Stay safe and healthy.
Bye, Marty.
Bye, Stuart. Thank you.